I wanted to record this video because this was just on my mind, and you could see I'm still in my jacket. I just came back from my walk, and this occurred to me, and I wanted to share with you immediately. And this is as follows. Whatever you do, your diet, especially your diet, I mean, as far as whatever you consume, whether it's coffee, your diet, your supplements, they're going to affect your brain. They're going to affect the way you perceive the world. So you have to be very careful with what you're consuming. Same with alcohol, same with cannabis, same with weed. If you're smoking weed and you don't feel great during the day and you try to justify it away, well, maybe you should look to the point where look at the area you don't want to look at, because that is what's basically giving you the answers internally. But you're using your brain to basically justify yourself away from looking at the problem that needs to be addressed. And personally, uh, this has been this herb called ashwagandha. If you're not aware of what this herb does, it basically increases GABA in the brain. GABA is an inhibitory neurotransmitter that helps you relax. It can be an anti-anxiety producing type of chemical. But the purpose of ashwagandha, if you think about it, it's Indian ginseng. That's what it is, right? So you're like, oh, I'm consuming ginseng. I'm consuming a little bit of coffee. I'm consuming XYZ. Why does that matter? It matters because those things actually produce chemicals in your body that affect the way you actually think and perform. It affects your energy levels. It actually, you, even though you think you are a certain way, if you consume large quantities of alcohol, what's going to happen is you're going to become somebody different. It's almost like you have a different personality type, a different personality. The reason why is because everything that you're consuming, the copious amounts of alcohol, they it's going to affect it affects your perceptual systems, right? And when those things affect, I don't know why my camera is doing this, when it's affecting your perceptual systems, then whoever you thought you were is not really who you are in that moment. And so what I noticed with the ashwagandha is I think I was taking like one or two capsules. And the reason I did it is because there are other benefits as far as apparently it does help with regulating your thyroid. That's really important. As a man getting older, it kind of helps balance your testosterone levels. So for me, it wasn't really the anti-anxiety thing because I don't think I really have anxiety. But if I do, I'm able to kind of like channel it and use it if it's in small quantities, right? In small kind of doses of anxiety, it kind of comes here and there, and I know what to do with it. But uh, but yeah, it was this excessive GABA in my brain, this inhibitory neurotransmitter. I was groggy during the day, and then it has this rebound effect. And what that means is that when you have something that affect, now I've never done cocaine, so I don't know, but from what I hear from neuroscientists, this is what they say, which is that you're increasing dopamine. It's a massive spike. And then what's happening is it dips below baseline, below your baseline. So you feel even worse after you do the hit of cocaine, right? Now, I'm not a scientist, so I'm not exactly sure how this works, but you're taking a massive hit of dopamine, and so it has to drop below baseline before it stabilizes again. And maybe the stabilization point would be lower, hence the addictive nature of the cocaine. And also, you're apparently linking the behavior, taking the hit of cocaine. You're linking that behavior with taking the hit and requiring that hit, and so that perpetuates the cycle because you find yourself in that behavioral state in that context more and more often, and so you can kind of continue the cycle there. In addition to the cocaine playing with your chemicals, it's the same thing with anything else, right? If you have a healthy lifestyle and you're doing something that's actually working for you, that's why I'm really a big fan of figuring out exactly what it is that actually works for you. And once you figure that out, more or less, you stick to that routine and you don't deviate from it. There's no reason to deviate. Once you find something that works, just keep doing that thing until it no longer works and find out why it hasn't worked, and then change one or two variables at a time, one variable at a time, make small adjustments. So this recent addition with the ashwagandha, I was like, ah, oh, man, I'm feeling pretty groggy. Like, why is that? Oh, right. I started this ashwagandha thing 2 days ago, right? And not only that is when you feel groggy, it's not like, oh, I'm just feeling groggy. It's a neurochemical change in your brain, and so it actually affects the way you see things. I'm less able to Be grateful. I'm less able to find myself in that state where I'm just like on. And the reason why is because my chemicals are being messed with. I cannot emphasize this enough. Listen carefully. When you're consuming things that mess with your chemicals, that's everything. That muffin that you had was 60 grams of carbs, and you're wondering, oh, I'm having a muffin every day in the morning. I don't understand why I don't feel amazing. Some people can have a muffin in the morning and just feel fine. Some people can't. So you have to be careful with every fucking thing that you do, right? This is what I'm talking about. It's like your sales. It's not like you just turn it on and you become this new person. No. In fact, you have to perform at an even higher level when you're taking sales calls. And as an example, so if you can't even be optimized or be at the level you need to be when you're not even working, how the hell are you going to do that when you're actually working? It's going to be even harder. You're going to feel like you're expending a lot of energy. And then at the end of your day, you're going to wonder why you're tired. So you have to hone everything in. Same with activity. Maybe you're exercising, you're like, oh, I exercise every day. Maybe you're exercising too hard. Maybe you're draining yourself with the cardio. And by the time you finish your cardio, you're exhausted and you have no energy to do anything else. Right. So this is what I mean. It's like everything has to be dialed in. Everything has to be dialed in. Right. I cannot understate the importance of dialing everything in. Your sleep, your nutrition, your exercise, when you exercise, how much you exercise, the types of exercise that you do, your coffee, how much coffee. Sometimes I'll have like a coffee. This is a very small one, but some days I'll feel like, okay, you know what, no coffee. Maybe I'll have a tea, like a green tea. And sometimes like, okay, I don't. Now I feel like my body, and I think maybe forget the green tea. Maybe I'll just have a bit of ginger with some like greens powder, and I think that'll help me stabilize my energy so you have to be very attentive with what your body is doing. And once you find a routine, you kind of stick to that. So I'm dead serious. Is that everything affects everything else. So I wanted to share that personal story with you because I was going for a walk and I was reflecting on this. And I was wondering why I was feeling groggy and why I couldn't get myself to that place that I normally get to. And that's because of this one herb. It's a natural fucking herb. Like, how the hell does that work? It's Indian ginseng. How does that even affect? How will that even affect you to a substantial degree? But it does. It does. So be aware of everything that you do, even people that you expose yourself to. You'll have a conversation with somebody for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And if that person is negative and all they do is complain, then all of a sudden you're an empathetic person, then you've taken their energy. And now you wonder why you're in this place where you were great before and now you're not so great and you wonder why. You got to link things together and be able to manage the consequences. And the only the way you can manage the consequences is by managing the process itself, right? So it goes back to the process. So I thought that I'd share that story with you very quickly in the morning. It's 11:06 a.m. where I'm at, and yeah, hope you have a great rest of your day and just keep that in mind, right? Make sure you dial everything in. Make sure you have a high level of awareness so you're not messing around with your state. So hope that was helpful.